All right, welcome to Solo Mining Season 2. It's been a minute since we actually finished the first season, but, I kind of went around in my head a little bit about kind of what I wanted this second season to kind of do, because obviously we've kind of all been there for the high sec stuff and, doing the whole, like, mining for Omega kind of a situation. But I wanted to do something a little bit different for this. So I did put out a post on Patreon about kind of like letting people vote for the theme and whatnot. It ended up getting, it was kind of almost split between, null-sec stuff or kind of a bootstrap challenge for high sec, but high sec ended up winning out by like 3% on that, and I just kind of decided, I didn't want to do high sec again. I didn't want season 2 to be too similar to season 1, so we're going to be doing null-sec stuff, right? We're not going to be tracking Omega necessarily. We're starting out as Omega. I'm actually going to be running this challenge on my main out here in null-sec, because one of my ultimate goals is to actually kind of get rid of some accounts. I'm doing a lot of BPO and industry research and stuff with a lot of my alts. But once those guys kind of get done with Omega, I want to kind of like cycle them and like phase them out. So I want season 2 of Solo Mining to be like kind of the main series of the channel. I'll be doing a lot of product discovery and stuff on Twitch, but really I just want to kind of like get settled in on just mining here on the main for the most part and everything. So I'm in a prospect today, so a lot of these episodes are going to be just us out here in null-sec mining. We'll track our inventory kind of as we go, but this is the fit I'm using right now. This is just a really basic, you've probably seen this in other videos that I've done, but it's basically like a yield stick, essentially. We're just going straight, like mining laser upgrade 2s and the lows, a small afterburner, but we're using modulated deep cores, so we can use crystals. So we got coherence in here now, and then we have our trusty Covert cloak. So we're in a section of null-sec right now that doesn't have rats, so the prospect works really, really well for this stuff. So right now we're got a laser on Kernite and we got a laser on Grimir. That isogen stuff is just really popping. Pyrite was kind of fixed a few patches ago, so Pyrite's prices have kind of normalized for the most part. But what we're really trying to do here is just stockpile a bunch, right? Just do kind of like what we used to do in high sec, but we're kind of just doing it here in null-sec, and I think the numbers will be a little bit different, and it'll be a little bit more achievable for a lot of people. We might, just for the sake of like science, be tracking the inventory, and I'll probably make a spreadsheet for like episode 2 that'll pull our stockpile into Excel through ESI, and it'll allow us to kind of see the value of everything we've mined up to this point. I'm gonna keep all this stuff for the Solo Mining Season 2 separate in its own like little hangar or whatever, so we'll track that, and then it'll just be nice to see how long it actually takes for us to get a certain amount of ISK and stuff, whether that be for a mining operator expert system, or maintaining Omega, or buying a certain ship. You can use that information whatever how you want, but like I said, we're starting off Omega here. We're not going to do the whole mining for Omega kind of bit with this series. We really just want it to be I really wanted to just be able to get out here and chill and do the covert mining that I like to do in the prospect and endurance. We can bounce between ice or ore, and then this series is probably also going to encompass all of the industry stuff that I'm going to be doing. So, even though it's called solo mining, we're going to let that mining kind of, eventually bleed over into the other aspects of industry. In the past, I've done like solo industry series or solo alpha stuff. Like I said, I just want solo mining to be like the main series for the YouTube channel here. So whenever I'm talking about BPOs, or if we're building something like caps or whatever, it's all going to be kind of all in this series, and this would be the one place you can kind of go and get all that information. But we're probably not going to be like long form too much for this series. I really kind of want to just keep it kind of light and breezy for the most part, but we'll just cover general industry information and stuff while we're kind of doing this. Like I said, it takes a long time. It takes like 10 minutes or so to fill up the prospect or whatever. So we'll try at least, kind of show that at least one load of mining every day. But values out here in Null-Sec are just going to be so wildly better than high-sec, because we just have high value ore. And I would say before, like probably like 5 years ago, like even like before when we first started season 1, high-sec was still kind of, a place that you could do some pretty decent mining. But with the changes to mining and stuff, and having all of these different resources and materials available in Null-Sec, Null-Sec is essentially like your one-stop mining shop, right? We can do our reactions out here. We can pretty much get every material from celestials out here. We don't have to really import anything unless we want to. And so that's really what I'm going to try to do, is I want to try to grow into doing, I really want to do just like jump freighters, just build some jump freighters. I've always been able to sell jump freighters very, very easily here in Null-Sec. And also, I don't have to slam the V key, for D-scan out here. Local is pretty chill. If somebody pops in local, that's the benefit of the prospect here. I can just, hit the cloak, and I can chill, or I can take off. But like normal, mining safety stuff is apparent here as well too. So bookmarking, you can't see my bookmark window, but I do have the bookmark out here for where I'm standing. Once we kind of burn through these rocks here and we're out of range for anything else, then we will move the bookmark accordingly. And the idea is just you can come out here and just chill and do a ton of mining all day. So right now our range is about 10 kilometers. So we can hit, like probably like 15 or so rocks from our bookmark right here. So we could probably mine for several hours before we have to really relocate or anything. And it's going to be just super chill like this. A lot of this stuff is going to get compressed. So we're going to take this actually to the headquarters here in system, and we will compress it there. I probably will only take this back to the main stockpile maybe like once a week or so. It really depends. I don't know how often I want to do solo mining episodes for the channel. I would like to do them a couple times a week. I really would like to get better at like getting out there and actually mining again. I've taken a pretty crazy hiatus this year. Of course, hiatuses for me are pretty normal during summertime because of kids being out of school and whatnot. So I usually come back to it in like September, and we hit it hard until like May or so. But I just really need to be better about that. But just give you some ideas. We'll talk about some little other stuff while we're waiting. We're about halfway full right now. And the reason I want to be on the main here is because we can access all of our, goodies here. So we'll give you kind of an idea of what we're rocking with. I still got PI set up. It's not anything crazy. I'm just doing some really like lazy PI on this guy. But, PI will be covered in this series as well, because all the things that we can do while we're mining, because I like to multitask as much as possible. If you tracked any of the other videos I've been doing over BPO research, is what I've been doing for like the past 4 months. I have, like 18 tunes or so right now. And I managed to get them all to 11, 11, 11 in terms of manufacturing jobs, research jobs, and reaction jobs. Crazy, crazy thing to get all that done on all those alts. But it allows me to basically research 198 BPOs on the corp side at any one time. So it's kind of tedious. I have like a spreadsheet that I log into, and I can refresh every day. I can see who has open slots, and I log those guys in and do the thing. But as long as all the BPOs are in like a corp hangar, if you're running your own solo corp like I do, as long as all the BPOs are in a corp hangar, then you can go over here to, when you go to BPOs, you can go to owned by corp, and you can look at all the BPOs that are owned. We have like 384 blueprints left to do. I think we own a total of 900. A lot of them have already been done. And then these are all the jobs here that are currently being processed. There's 198 jobs currently being done. That's been our big focus over the summer, since I haven't been able to play a lot or do a lot of mining. Has been just getting these BPOs done. And so what I do is, once the BPO is completely researched, we will drop it into our export hangar, and then every so often we'll ship it off to JITA. And so let's go and bring up JITA here. So JITA 44, I have this LTS station container right here. And this thing, whenever all the BPOs get back to JITA, this is where they hang out. So this is where all of our research, our reaction stuff is as well. Like every BPO in this storage or station container is fully researched. It is 10 of 20 fully researched, ready to go. And so right now the ultimate goal is to basically just, continue on doing all of our BPO research, get all that stuff stockpiled, and in the future when we are kind of gotten that to where we want it, we can just kind of like pick something, that's good on the market, that's good on margins, and we can just build it and have that freedom. We're probably going to start working on core temperature regulators here pretty soon. A lot of what we're going to be doing is going to be building those and also the capital versions of those. Especially if we want to get into capital construction, you need core temp regulators like crazy. We'll probably do a solo mining episode that talks absolutely all about like the core temp regulators while we're out there mining some whatevers. But it's a really good place to kind of start and just kind of, get in there. I would not recommend going straight into capital construction because it's daunting. There's a lot of moving parts and it's really easy to lose your margins. If you're getting into industry, if you're funding industry through your mining, start low. And we'll probably do that too. I'm probably going to send out a bunch of venture BPOs and we'll just build a bunch of ventures out here because we can sell those very, very easily out here, probably better than we did in high-sec. We built ventures in the beginning of the solo industry series and we ended up selling them all. Like somebody came in and bought every single one of them. Out here it'll be the same thing, but like people won't be buying them for mining necessarily. They'll be buying them for Sino ships. So, for me, I know I've said this in the past, like some, really great things to build and kind of sustain yourself are fuel blocks and nanite repair paste because it can come from PI. And then ventures and any venture Sino pieces will sell really, really well. Shuttles do okay too. Lower volume out here, but if somebody wants to like fly to some other system or move a tune around, then I have sold some shuttles out here as well. But we'll get into all that in this series. But I wanted to start this today since it's the 1st of September, and actually on the 15th of this month will be the channel's 10-year anniversary, which is really cool. But yeah, I'm just gonna, after doing a lot of thinking over the past few months about like where I wanted to take my Eve content, I pretty much decided that we're just gonna lean into like the solo mining series. It did really well in season 1. It was a little unfocused in season 1 because solo mining season 1 started off as just like a 10 episode limited series, and it kind of morphed into like this long running, long format, industry kind of series. Which I enjoyed that aspect of it, but it was just kind of like, that series is all over the place if you watch from beginning to end. So at least for this series, it's still called solo mining, but, for all of you guys in the know, it's going to be the Null-Sec edition. We're going to be talking about industry, everything that has to do with industry. So manufacturing, reactions, PI, ice mining, gas huffing. I usually don't chase gas huffing here in Null-Sec because it's very intermittent on getting those things, at least in the constellation that I'm in. So we'll just kind of every day, like, if I sit down and do an episode for this series, we'll kind of see what we can get into and day in the life kind of situation as well, which will motivate me to actually get out there in space and actually get some stuff done. My goals are still the same, hitting 1 trillion as a solo player. I am 1/3 the way there. A little bit of a hiccup whenever Plex kind of moved over to a global market. They dipped a little bit, but it's coming back up. But I managed to still secure a lot of that stuff. I'm still working Project Discovery. I'm still using that as a main vehicle of getting to that 1 trillion goal. So I'm still building Marshalls and stuff. I actually built a Marshall a few days ago. So if you want to kind of see how that process goes, I'll be doing my Project Discovery on Twitch a couple times a week where you guys can stop in and ask questions or do whatever. But we're going to try to get that live stream on Twitch kind of regulated as well too, as kind of being a mainstay for that as well. So a lot of things, I'm trying to like simplify everything. So and also try to focus down on a lot of stuff as well. So the two, like, those are going to be the two main things, like the solo mining series here on YouTube. That's going to be everything, right? You watch that, you're going to get all the stuff. Patreon is where you're going to have to go to get like the spreadsheets. If we talk about any spreadsheets and videos, that's where I post them all. I recently just posted a BPO tracker or checklist over there. So if you're trying to like collect all the BPOs and stuff, it's a full list of everything. It doesn't run through ESI, so it's not super slow. My original BPO tracker does run through ESI, and it takes a long time to do all those ESI calls. And so for the public version for you guys, it's just like full names, the group type or the group name, and then you can have a field there where you can mark Y if you have it, or leave it blank if you don't, and it allows you to kind of very easily sort and figure out what BPOs you still need to go and kind of hang out and get. But with that being said, we are full, and this is going to be it for this first episode. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments, just shout out, show some love over there, and go to Patreon. There's exclusive content over there, open free access for everybody. So my overview files, a bunch of the other stuff that I use, Excel spreadsheets are over there as well too. If you use the EVE Online web store, use the creator code that's in the top of the screen there. That'll give a little bit back to the channel and help support me here. If you want to support the channel in any other way, there's YouTube memberships where you can unlock some other stuff and emotes and everything like that, or there's Patreon membership. You can head over there as well, or on Twitch, be a Twitch sub over there. And Twitch sub and YouTube member and Patreon, they all get special roles in our Discord. And also Discord is just a good way to get notifications for any new videos or live streams when they go live, or just ask me questions and I can do my best to answer them. But with all that being said, that's it for episode 1. And tomorrow, or the next episode, we're going to get that spreadsheet popping so we can start tracking our ore here. I don't know if this station actually has... does it? It does not. So this station does not have compression, so we're going to have to figure that out next episode, because we're going to be wanting to compress this as we go and stockpile and make it easy. But anyway, check out the cards here on the end of the video for other things to watch EVE related, and I'll see you in the next one.